Everyone, raise your hands to the sky and give this idea all of your energy. Has Transformers finally found a way to save your virginity forever? Is there more Jack Black and Jason Momoa in your future? Are we finally going to see that big ass tree is... Hold on. Are we finally going to see what that big ass tree is about? All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, your host for this and every episode of Cutting Edge Hero. I am joined today by my co-host, my other half, Landon Felter. Landon, how does it feel to be on screen?
It's weird to finally be appearing in pixel form.
Yeah. Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you. You don't have to flatter me, Danny, though.
Yeah. You have the glow of a person who has avoided sunlight for almost the same amount of time as I have, and it looks good on you.
Yeah, I was about to say, this computer lighting is not doing me any favors.
We are also joined in the studio by the incredibly talented, versatile, and dare I say sexy, Randy. Randy, how you doing?
Just a young
Randy Tapley. I forgot his last name for a second. Go ahead, Randy. Sorry about that.
And it's okay. It's not a very good bit. It's a callback to Imagine Dragons. I'm doing good.
Yeah. Sorry, I ruined your really great Imagine Dragons joke.
No, it's okay. I was already jumping out of it.
Well, Landon, what is the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Oh, man, I gotta say the nerdiest thing I've done this week is maybe go to Cape Anime Con this past week.
Yes, we were all together for Cape Anime Con this last weekend, where we hung out with J. Michael Tatum, his husband Brandon McInnes, John Swayze, the voice of All for One, as well as a bunch of other incredible characters, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, the voice of Tails from the Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons and movies, and Dina Sherman, the voice of Yashiro from Bleach. And boy, was it a good time. What was your favorite part of the weekend?
Oh, God, honestly, it just had to be like sitting in on all the panels and everything. Like, I was working that, so naturally I had to be there for at least some of them. But just hearing them give all the advice that they had and just giving their own experiences, all the guests, even I don't want to say not the celebrities, because that sounds a little, right. It sounds like it diminishes them, but like even the other
attendees
panels were really interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We pride ourselves on providing fun content. Randy, what was the nerdiest thing you did this week?
It was actually the same. I attended the con and was too scared to really talk to anybody except for John Swayze, because I got to hang out with him.
Do you have any crazy Swayze stories?
He has a podcast that I didn't know about. It's like 2 episodes in. That's pretty exciting.
He does.
Have yet to binge watch it, or binge listen. But I think he's got some crazy stories on there. So
talking to him about that podcast is how the conversation came up about Cutting Edge Hero, and he said that he is going to join us. So next week on Cutting Edge Hero, John Swayze, the voice of All for One and the Undertaker from Black Butler, will be joining us in the studio for Cutting Edge Hero. I'm still not sure how long he's going to be here. He seemed okay with like the whole show. So he's going to be here for all of the awkwardness that we get at the beginning, or maybe he'll just show up for like Hitlist. I don't know. It's his thing. He can tell me what he wants to do. I'm just like, yeah, John Swayze, you want to be on my show? Sure. Absolutely. The nerdiest thing I did this week, on top of putting on the premier anime convention of the Southeast Missouri area, getting to hang out with all of those guys all weekend long, and these guys, like we're very fortunate in that our crew loves the show as much as we do, and shows up to help and is a part of things as well. But the second nerdiest thing I did all week was I 3D printed this Optimus Prime Generation 1 figure. It printed in all of the color pieces, and then I assembled it. It is fully posable. The legs, joints, feet, everything moves. Very cool. It is from a website called Toymaker 3D. And then if anybody else in the audience is a Transformers fan, as a kid, I got catfished by a Transformers figure. So those of you who know Generation 1 Transformers, there's a character called Ultra Magnus. And when they released his figure, he is basically a white version of Optimus Prime, and then his trailer turns into the suit of armor. And the suit of armor version is what he looked like in the cartoon. And I thought, I got the Jest robot version as a kid, and he was a solid white version of Optimus Prime. And I just thought I had a really cool Optimus Prime figure my whole childhood. And then as I got older, I found out that I actually had Ultra Magnus. I didn't actually have Optimus. So in honor of the catfishing that I received from the Ultra Magnus figure, I printed my own Ultra Magnus to go with my Optimus. So now I've got one of each. I'm working on a Megatron right now. I should have that ready for the show next week. Pretty excited about that. But yeah, the con was awesome. The guests were awesome. The weekend was great. And the fact that on Friday, whenever I brought the guests to the hotel, we got hit by a tornado. And they wanted to just hang out outside and watch the tornado fly over because they're all from Texas and had been living in LA for the last 4 years and don't get to see tornadoes much. So I was outside with people that I had paid to come there. And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, great. There's going to be a news report that says like Cape Event killed 5 celebrities this last weekend because they wanted to stand outside and watch the tornado go over. But thankfully, nobody got hurt. Tornado went away, and we just had an insanely good anime show, and then moving along to we are now in the planning stages for Cape Con. We did announce our first guest for Cape Con at the end of the anime show. Janet Varney, the voice of Avatar Korra, will be joining us at Cape Con in 2025 at the Show Me Center, November 7th, 8th, and 9th. So get excited about that. Okay, I think that's everything from the nerdiest things I did this week. Let's you want to scroll up the comments a little bit? I want to recognize everybody that's here before we get too much further.
The nerdiest thing you did this week was planning and organizing.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. We've got go all the way to the top, please. We've got Jennifer Johnson in the chat. Willie McCoy in the chat. No Gimmicks Podcast is here. Billy Rhodes said that he just read a wild news story about Weezer's bassist's wife getting shot by the police for murder. So we won't be diving into that, but I will look into it later. And Billy, feel free to explain it in the chat. CJ Lovelady is here. Jody Lee Meredith, what is up? Glad you are here. Scroll down a little bit more. Our buddy Kempachi from Saturday Night Nerds is here. Nightmares and Nerdscapes is here. Happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Day indeed. I hope you all celebrated. Justin Quick is here. What is up, Justin? Eric Johnson in the chat. Marbles is here. My 6-year-old twins got Switch lights for their birthday, and I've been playing Among Us with them. That's probably my nerdy thing. LOL. We used to do like family Among Us playthroughs. That was a good time. Xana Parsons, she is part of the management team for Cape Events, says, sources say J. Michael Tatum is still upset that he didn't get a good picture of the storm. Yeah, he was pretty mad about that. Everybody else kept getting good pictures of lightning, and he was like, I can't get a good one. USDN, the United States Department of Nerds, is in the chat as well. My beautiful niece, Serena Best of Nine Stewart, is here. Our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinaire, Ben Stewart, should be in the chat eventually. Ben, when you get here, say hi to the nice people. Randy, is that all of the comments?
I believe so. Yes.
All right. Fantastic. Randy, Landy, you guys want to talk about some news?
Always.
Randy, fire those bullet points. Welcome to the bullet points. I swear I wrote his name down. The DC artist that is currently responsible for the Superman comics has shared an image on his Instagram highlighting a crossover between Goku and Superman. Now, this isn't to say that we're going to get a crossover comic or anything along those lines. He just thought it was cool art. But I am saying that if we show this particular piece of art enough attention, we may get DC Comics interested enough to finally give us that Goku Superman crossover battle that we've all been wanting.
I don't know. Like, people have been talking about Goku Superman parallels since the 90s. I don't know if this will be the thing that tips the scales, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. They're always looking to make a little bit more money, you know, and if the money's there, the idea is there.
Yeah,
And
I guess so.
I mean, Shinron, it's just a wish away to wish the best fighter from another universe into Dragon Ball Z world.
That is valid. And honestly, Goku is basically just Superman. He's an alien from another planet who has incredible powers. He crash landed on Earth, was adopted by a Japanese hermit as opposed to a nice country folk, a nice pair of country folk from Kansas. And he became a martial artist, whereas Superman became a good old farm boy who can throw a haymaker. But the parallels are there. I think obviously Superman predates Goku by quite a bit. You want to click on the comments so I can see what people are saying. Predates Superman Superman predates Goku by quite a bit, but I think it has been the source of many a nerd fight as to who would win in a fight.
I don't even know if they would fight.
Probably not. They'd probably just hang out and be bros. But I will say, Goku, whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, if you're strong, he wants to fight you.
Yeah, I feel as though they would, fight, but it wouldn't be like to the death or anything.
Oh, no. But like that is a weird leap that people tend to make whenever you're talking about versus battles between superheroes and stuff, that it's always to the death. Like there's very rarely are superhero fights to the death, you know?
Yeah. Of course, they always want to talk about sheer power. They don't want to talk about, like, is this person willing to kill versus this person, are they willing to kill?
Yeah, and thankfully Superman and Goku are not either one of them on that spectrum of wanting to kill people regularly. So
well, and also, like, I mean, I don't know if this is canon or not, but I think the Spirit Bomb also uses like solar energy, so that would be just make him even cooler. That would be a fun way to have a bigger threat.
I don't remember if the Spirit Bomb is solar energy, because
I think they say
it's the energy of people's like literal souls.
I think King Kai originally says something about you have to be careful using it during the day, but then it's never brought up again that it uses solar energy.
Okay. Let's see. Kibachi said, "Whoa, dude, you don't have to insult Goku like that." Pfft. Goku would win that fight hands down. Billy Rhodes said, "I honestly think Warner Brothers isn't interested in making money anymore." They're in a weird place, honestly. Willie McCoy said, "I see them sparring. Soups is competitive. He did race Flash to prove a point." That's another thing we never did see the result of as well. Moving along in comics news, Hasbro and Skybound want your help to release a compendium of the original Transformers comics. So here is an image. They are going to release the original Generation 1 comics, both the American comics published through Marvel and the comics published in the UK, as one large set of bound editions with faux leather covers. It took, like, I think 3 minutes total to be fully backed on Kickstarter. So it's happening. It's already fully backed, but you can still get your donation money and get your hands on it. But each one is 5 large volumes covering all of the issues of the comics from both the original American Marvel runs and the British runs of Transformers.
That's pretty sweet, not gonna lie. The fact that it took 3 minutes to get back does not surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah, it was fast, and I think they were looking for like $1 million total, like a $1 million backing was all they needed, and it within like the first 3 minutes, just done. And it's still raising money. So Skybound and Hasbro, who desperately need more money, are definitely breaking in the dough on this. So apparently it is in honor of them celebrating that they are now going to be releasing a new Transformers line with Image Comics, and so they want to bring the compendium to people.
All right, sweet.
Pretty exciting. Jared Hess, the director of the Minecraft movie, says that he would have a blast making a sequel. I've not seen Minecraft yet. Landon, have you seen it?
I have not seen it, no.
Randy, you've seen it, have you not?
Yeah, I actually just saw it yesterday.
Do you think it leaves room for a sequel?
Not really, but I don't know like who all the villains are in Minecraft, but
It's like the Ender Dragon and
it's like the villain in this one is like a pig witch from the Nether, but she's I mean I don't know if it's a spoiler, but they don't kill villains in in this movie. So there's a chance
You're not
that
going to spoil it for me. I don't know about
Yeah,
Landon, but you're
sorry,
not
I
spoiling anything for me.
I really
didn't
don't
actually
care.
put those credit scene. So
Randy
sorry,
didn't
I'm reading
stay
ahead
for
in the
post-credits.
comments, but Willie McCoy says the post-credit scene leads into a sequel. So is it when Tails shows up?
Can't be. Tails was at our show this weekend.
Yeah. Very busy.
But I don't know if that would include, like, again, I haven't seen it, but whether that means Jack Black's coming back to do a sequel, whether we'll see Jack Black and Jason Momoa and all of the supporting cast from this back for a sequel, the way that we did with the Jumanji sequel, or if that means that it's going to be another movie set in the Minecraft world with different people.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that the movie is making a lot of money. People are going out in droves to see it. The fact that it's going to get a sequel is probably a foregone conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Love Lady was saying. CJ Love Lady.
There's no way that Minecraft doesn't get a sequel. The market's there, and the amount of families out this weekend seeing it was awesome. Yeah, I hear it's very popular. I will probably not see it in the theater. I'll probably just wait and watch it.
I've heard a lot of people say that, which
yeah.
is fair.
I save my theater money for usually action films and superhero stuff, and the occasional horror movie. Just depends on who's making it. Willie McCoy said, "My son plays it and thought it was so-so. The money that it made is wild. It already grossed as much as Captain America: Brave New World, which is wild. Yeah. It's Marvel's been struggling. Marvel's been struggling for a while to make a well-earning movie, but it is crazy that a Jack Black starring video game movie vehicle made more money than an MCU top tier film.
And one thing that I will like compliment the movie for is from the trailer, I was like, okay, this is going to be like a bunch of actors on a green screen. And when they're in the Minecraft world, it is. But whenever they're in the real world, which is more than you would think for this movie, they don't like immediately just jump into the world and stay there. But the sets were very cool because like there's just a lot of like perfect squares in the background, and the costume design, like most of what they're wearing is like she has like a checker pattern, and it's just perfect squares. And then like just I don't know, they kind of make everything blocky, but not like in your face blocky, but just like it's a cool little thing to prepare you for, I guess, the way Minecraft world looks.
Yeah. I will check it out eventually. Just probably not in the theater unless I go to like the $5 Tuesday or something.
That's what I did.
Landon, do you have any plans on catching the Minecraft movie?
I feel like though it would be something fun to watch while high. Like if I plan on getting high anytime sometime soon, and if it's on streaming, I'll check it out then. But otherwise, I really don't care.
Jessica Christian is swinging by. She said, "Hey guys, hey Jess, glad you're here." Jess also helped us with AnimeCon over the weekend.
Like the only. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the only real attention I've seen it getting, aside from like families, is a bunch of people like memeing on the movie and stuff like that. Like a bunch of people planning on going to it just to scream every time they name like a mob or something.
It did seem like it was kind of it was kind of built to be memed. If I had to,
very, very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of just like fun visuals they threw together of like Jack Black just doing crazy shit, and then the just from the trailers, I would say that was the impression that I got. And then my last piece of news for movies, and actually I have a caveat to that. I am going to throw something else on to talk about. Tom Hiddleston teased that it's not over for Loki yet, discussing his casting in Avengers Doomsday. So apparently we are going to see Loki come away from the World Tree where he was trapped at the end of Loki season 3. Season 2? What was that? It was season 2, right?
I think it was just
at the end of season 2. Loki's going to get freed from that and get to be a part of Avengers Doomsday. Now, whether that's going to be a variant Loki, as we've seen a ton of those throughout the Loki series, or whether that's going to be the original Loki that Tom Hiddleston plays or not.
What's the the lady Loki. What was her name?
Sylvie.
Sylvie.
Mm.
I haven't watched the second season, and I don't know if this is a spoiler. Is she still around? Can she pop up? Because that would all.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
her.
Sylvie's
Like I
still
thought
around.
she would be really cool to
Mhm.
have join in his stead, maybe.
CJ Lovelady said it's very much an event movie, and William McCoy said the chicken jockey TikTok trend is helping boost the popularity of it. I'm not familiar with what that is.
I think it's just a bunch of people going crazy about the chicken jockey scene. I've
Oh.
seen people specifically go into the theater, and as soon as the chicken jockey come up, just throw their popcorn everywhere, which is kind of rude to the staff, but you know, people are willing to go far for a joke.
That's true. And also, I mean, the staff gets paid for that. It's job security. And in these trying times, in this economy, they probably should be thanking you. Like, man, this chicken jockey, I've been working overtime. That's neither here nor there. And then the last piece of news I have, and I just thought about this, but they released a trailer for Tron Ares. Now this is apparently they're not picking up from the end of Tron Legacy. They're going to pay some homage to that attempt, but this is actually going directly from the original Tron. And the Tron characters, the video game characters, are going to be coming into the real world with their light bikes and their ships, and they're going to actually be trying to take over our world from the 1980s really crappily made computer video game world of the original Tron. I know that there was some influence from Tron into real world in the original movie. I know that in Legacy, the female character actually makes her way into the real world at the end of the movie, but apparently this is going to be where Tron is actually taking over Earth. And it's got Jared Leto starring as the titular villain, Ares. And we haven't seen much of the returning hero cast. I know that Jeff Bridges is in the trailer, like you can hear a voiceover from, but you don't actually ever see him. But it's kind of interesting to see what that's going to be about. I'm kind of excited. I like Tron a lot. I like the original. Legacy was fine. I didn't hate it, but I do want more Tron in my life.
And coming into the real world makes me think of Pixels. I don't think that's the comparison that they want to draw.
Right.
Yeah. I'm kind of with a lot of people. I'm with CJ Lovelady in chat. I was super on board with it until I saw Leto. And then I was like, I don't know, Chief. He hasn't been in anything good in a hot minute.
That's valid. I will say Jared Leto, for a guy that started out pretty, I mean, he did some good stuff. He's in Fight Club, he's in a lot of decent movies early on. And he's been in some stuff that, he's been in Oscar winning films and stuff since then, where he's not necessarily playing these like crazy off the wall characters, but there's not a lot of forgiveness for him after his attempt at being Joker. And then obviously his Morbius movie, not great. But I do think some of that tends to fall on the director. I think we put a lot on the shoulders of Jared Leto, and he is a method actor. He tries to, disappear into the characters that he's playing. I do think that unlike some method actors, it's kind of not quite as effective as he wants people to believe it is whenever he does it. It's not like Daniel Day-Lewis, who plays the character until they cut the DVD commentary or whatever. But I will say, I think Jared Leto is a decent actor, and I think that it always comes down to the production and director of the films. So I think I don't think that his rendition of the Joker is necessarily his fault. He's not the designer. He's not the one that put the fucking tattoos all over his body and made him look like Machine Gun Kelly. He just played the Joker within the parameters they gave him. And I will say the same thing for Morbius. Like I think he was a fine Michael Morbius. The movie's just a piece of shit.
I never actually watched it.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're kind of right on that, but also his off-screen behavior is just shit as well.
That's true.
Like you always say like separate the art from the artist and everything, but also if I go to this movie, that's going to be money put into his pocket anyway. It's going to be like 1/8 of the money that's I put into the movie is going to go back to him, but still, I don't. And like, it's just, I don't. He hasn't been in anything good. Part of it is probably his own judgment signing up for these things. And also, I'm not interested. I'm just
Billy
really
said
not.
he's got a cult, so that's pretty cool.
Okay, might be back on board on Leto.
CJ Lovelady said Leto needs to stick to the dramas. That's where he shines. All of his action, comic book, sci-fi movies have been trash. I could see that. Marbles was also thinking about his cult. And Jennifer Johnson said, I like Morbius. Duh, love vampires. Eric Johnson said, Leto didn't design the neo-hipster gangsta Joker from Suicide Squad. No, he did not. That wasn't, somebody else with art direction ability saddled him with that look. And unfortunately, he stayed on board for it. I would have been like, change him or I'm leaving. I'm not going to do this. The Joker does not look like this. This is stupid. Landy. Wow, I am messed up. I am all mixed up with you guys. Landon, what do you have in video game news?
Okay, so a lot of video game discourse, even to now, is still completely being taken over by Switch 2 stuff. So I guess I can talk about that. You told me you didn't talk about it much last week, right?
We really didn't know.
All right. I tried watching a bit of the live stream, but got caught up with other stuff. Switch 2. It really is seeming like it's just an upgrade on all things from the original. Like the actual portable mode, the screen is getting upgraded from 720 to 1080. The screen's getting bigger with the same amount of thickness for it. It's an LCD screen for better contrast of everything. The Joy-Cons are magnetic connections instead of the slide-ons, which people were worried about at first, but it seems like they're hooking on pretty strong. The Joy-Cons, they have made sure that there's not going to be any drift this time, or at least not as common of a drift with the new Joy-Cons. Which that's
been a real problem with Joy-Cons is the stick drift. My PS5 controllers, one of the ones I bought after market, like that, it's an official PS5 controller, but I bought it after I bought my PS5, had a really bad stick drift, and it really pissed me off because those things are expensive as fuck. And then I haven't had that problem with my Switch, thankfully, but hopefully I won't.
Yeah, well, here's to hoping. Yeah, it really just seems like they improved on a lot of things from the Switch 2, additional USB-C ports, larger stand with more adjustable angles. I don't know many people who use the stand regularly, but for those that did, it's probably great. The console is going to be starting out at $450 so far. Some of the news is that pre-orders in the United States are being delayed because of tariffs. So that's a bit of an issue. And the games are going to be anywhere between $80 to $90 each, which is crazy. I know, like, back in the day, some of the older Nintendo 64 games could easily hit like $80, but still, it's a lot. It's a lot of money for this.
The fact that we've reached $80 to $90 games for these systems and that price point isn't going away, like it's only going to get worse. PlayStation games, they tend to be between 70 to 80. And especially if you get like a special edition, you're looking at like 120, 130, depending on what comes with it. But yeah, back to the days whenever it was like $50 for a game, it was like, I don't want to pay it, but I want the game, blah, blah, blah. Now we're looking at like $80 is just the average, which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting more and more expensive as time goes on, which, that's all things, but.
Billy said, are the tariffs not working out for us? Do you want to field that, Landon?
Believe it or not, no. So much so that Trump is actually pausing the tariffs.
For 90 days, does that coincide with the Switch 2 being released? Maybe that's the reason behind it.
Maybe so. I do find it funny that he told everybody now's the time to buy this morning before he lifted the tariffs. Yeah.
$80 with no physical component for the game. Yeah, absolutely. We're buying a digital game for $80.
Mm-hmm. Also, sorry everybody, I can't read comments that well. I got this arm on my mic and did not plan this out well. It's currently covering most of the comments. So
Eric Johnson said Deluxe Zelda Gold was $60, and we were all like, F no, but we all bought it.
That's what I've heard is like the fear is like that will set the standard for every other company to start putting their games at $90 a piece.
Yeah, Jennifer Johnson said total BS. Yeah, I'm on the ship of like digital releases cost the same and sometimes more than the physical release. Why are they not cheaper? Like, why is that a standard in video gaming right now? Like, why if I go to the store and buy the physical release, it's like $70, and if I buy the digital release on my PlayStation, not owning a physical copy whatsoever, and certainly saving them money on printing the discs and the packaging and shipping and all of that shit, why is the price the same? And why have we done nothing about this?
Well, you're looking at it more as the digital is just as expensive as the physical that has the actual stuff. You just see it more as the physical is. You just see it more as they're trying to convince you not to go all the way to the store to get a physical when you can get it in your home. That way, they have more control over it whenever you want to do something with your digital copy. If you have a physical copy and it's not just like a download code or whatever on a disc, essentially. You can do things like sell it to GameStop, and then GameStop can sell it to someone else, and the company loses out on that little bit of profit. You know,
Right, but
that little smidgen of profit.
If you're trying to push me towards digital versions, make the digital version $5 cheaper. You know, not the same price as if I go to the store and get it. You know
well, why would you go to the store and get it if you can just do it at your home conveniently and not waste money on gas?
You're right. That's where they've got us. Got us. CJ Lovelady said, because we'll pay it. And that's to the point that Landon was making. Yeah, absolutely, we will.
CJ says the worst part is Fame companies state we don't own the games after purchasing them electronically.
Yep.
Yeah,
which is
so
also a big
dumb. And then CJ said, as soon as we were willing to pay the same price for the right to play the game as opposed to owning the game, you're killing me, Randy.
What?
I'm trying to read it off of that one because the camera's in the middle of this screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you keep running over the top of it and I can't read it. As opposed to owning the game, the market followed. Yeah. So all of that. My books on Prime are cheaper. Why aren't digital games? Yeah, that's true too. Again, if there's no physical media, the digital should be cheaper. We're not going to fix it tonight, but I do think that that's a weird thing that we've allowed to happen as a market and as consumers.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
But yeah, I've had a couple of games that I've purchased previously on the PlayStation Network, like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I bought it some time ago and then switched consoles and then didn't download it right away or whatever. And then when I went back to download it, I didn't own it anymore and I had to buy it again, which is just bullshit. You know, like it's the same PlayStation account. And it definitely should have still been on there and it just wasn't.
Yeah, it's just, you lost your license. God, I mostly have on here just like different specs of the Switch on here. Like apparently transfer speeds and everything are supposed to be faster, so you can load and save games even faster. New cards will have better read speed. There's a game chat, a video chat. Most of this is just rehashing what the Direct pretty much said about the Switch 2. If everyone here has seen the Direct.
I think the thing I'm most excited about with this announcement is the Mario Kart game that is the levels are open world.
I'm going to be honest. I do not care about the open world.
What?
It's interesting, sure. Not $80 worth of interesting, though.
I don't know that they could have improved upon the previous Mario Kart. Like, I don't think they could have made it any better, but changing the gameplay to where you're more cannonball running this and you get to pick the path you want to take as opposed to having one dedicated path everybody has to follow. I think that's really cool.
I mean, it's a neat change up in level design, sure. But if I like the standard path, like a race that's set up, then I'm not going to be super happy with the Cannonball Run-esque only versions of games,
Right. And I'm not saying that I want all of the Mario Kart games to be this way, but Mario Kart 8 is like really hard to improve upon. And so the idea that a new Mario Kart game dropping gives you an open world map, open world concept for your maps, I think it's really cool. I personally, I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, it's neat. Like I said, it's pretty neat. It's an interesting way to design levels, but ultimately, if you're, we all know those people. Let me try this again. We all know people who are hyper competitive, especially when it comes to Mario Kart. We've all played with these people, and for a lot of people out there, they're already going to be charting out the best routes through these levels anyway. So
Yeah.
it's going to be for these hyper competitive people one shot all the way through. Now, for most of us that are playing it for fun, yeah, sure, you can go about it a different way, but ultimately, there's still going to be one most efficient path all the way through.
Billy Rhodes asked, "How the fuck is a racing game open world?" So Billy, the levels. So it's not one open world. Each level is a different like smaller contained open world, but you don't have a linear path from point A to point B to finish the race. There's multiple streets you can take. There's multiple directions you can take, that you're not necessarily off map. And whereas in the traditional Mario Kart games, if you drive too far off the map, it resets you. If you drive backwards, it resets you. In this new Mario Kart game, you don't get that. You can go whichever way you want. You can drive whichever direction you want to. Now, obviously, there will be an accepted path that makes the most sense or is the fastest option. But it's like you can like grind on electrical wires, and I saw some of that in there. There's more of a parasailing aspect to it. Like you get to do all of that stuff in a more like choose your own path race as opposed to being trapped in the one track. CJ Lovelady said Mario Kart San Andreas. Can't wait to watch Mario kill a hooker.
But yeah, I don't know what more to say about the Switch 2. There's now a mouse mode for the Joy-Cons.
That's true. For PC gaming.
Yeah, they showed off the mouse mode by also showing off the new Metroid Prime game that they're working on. You can now use it like a FPS on the PC, or you can now play it like it's an FPS on the PC, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, CJ Lovelady's right there with me. I'll only play if I can shoot toadstool hookers. Anyway, what else you got?
Apparently, the live-action Legend of Zelda movie has a release date of March 26, 2027.
Okay, March.
Yeah,
that's quite a bit away.
Yeah, that was on the Nintendo app for a hot minute. So yeah.
I'm hoping that the live action Zelda movie is good. We've gotten a lot of fan made versions of a live action Zelda that give us a pretty good idea as to how good it can be. And also, I want to know what storyline they're going for. What timeline of The Legend of Zelda are we getting? Will it be a new one that doesn't follow any of the original? Will it be the original Link? Will it be Link to the Past? Will it be Wind Waker? Will it be Twilight Princess? What are we going to get as far as our version of Legend Zelda for the live action?
I mean, I think they can only really do it if they make it an original story, I mean, we've already had it to where Legend of Zelda has had, dozens of different games at this point.
Yep.
I mean, I feel as though they can only do an original story. Adapting any of these is just not going to work well,
I think there's currently 5 accepted timelines for The Legend of Zelda, and based on Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, there's a split on each of those as to which version you're getting or which timeline you're in. But anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, I really hope I'm looking forward to more details on this. And is it going to be truly live action, or is it going to be mocap within like live action sets, or is it going to be like Disney live action? Like what are we getting?
I have no idea. I think it's going to be live action, or maybe Disney live action where it's all CGI and they're just calling it live action, or it could even be just one or two actual people and the rest be CGI. It's hard to tell at this point. We have seen nothing from this.
Yeah. Are you a big Legend of Zelda player?
I mean, I've played a few of the games. I haven't played all of them by any means, but I've played, enough to be familiar.
Yeah. My favorite in the franchise is Link to the Past. I think that's my favorite Legend of Zelda game. And I'd be okay with them following that storyline. Eric Johnson says Ocarina of Time would be dope. Randy, do you have a favorite Legend of Zelda game?
Probably Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. Those are the only two I've actually like beaten.
Yeah. Okay. Eric Johnson said, is Tom Holland playing Link? If he is, he'll tell us way before he's supposed to. Should be Studio Ghibli tone for the movie. That'd be pretty cool, I think. But that is neither here nor there. What else you got, Landon?
I mean, some of this I've already mentioned, like how Switch 2 pre-orders were delayed due to tariffs. The Minecraft movie made $157 million at its opening, which set a record for video game movies. And here's just a odd story that didn't get completely buried in tariffs and the Switch. The Louvre is retiring its guided tours that use the Nintendo 3DS.
Wow.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, the Louvre, the art museum, was using Nintendo 3DSs as a tool for its guided tours. It would show images and display facts and everything using the 3DS, and they'll be retiring them in September now.
Interesting. Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing at the Louvre.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing it for, I don't know, I think it's been 5 years now.
I might be going to the Louvre next year. And
10 years.
I'm probably going to get there just in time for them to cancel that. So cool. Good to know.
Yeah. I guess one last Switch 2 story that I think is interesting enough to bring up. Switch 2 pre-orders will be limited to the people who have played the most on the Switch 1.
What?
Yeah, they are using the tracked time on your Nintendo accounts to see how much you have played the original Switch, and those with like the highest hours total from like, I don't know, April of whenever it got released to about a couple months ago will be prioritized with pre-orders. It's their way of like trying to limit how many scalpers can buy the Switch 2s. So they're going towards the most fans, their biggest fans of the Switch.
Well, damn Nintendo. Sorry, I have a life. Fuck. Guess I'll wait. Because I'm certainly not in the top amount of time players on a Switch by any measure. So.
Yeah, it's definitely not the perfect system, but like, I don't know, at least they're doing something to go against scalpers. And there's worse ways to go about this. Like definitely aiming for your biggest fans, getting it first is not the worst process.
I'm not opposed to this at all. I'm just thinking like, the average person who spends the most time on a Switch is not the person pre-ordering the Switch 2. That's their parent. That's that's someone else who is going to be paying the money for the thing. And how are they going to suss that out? Like obviously you'll have to use your kid's Nintendo account to buy it. Like God forbid you're the parent of the person who's got the most time on the Switch in the world, and you are just trying to buy the damn thing and you put in the wrong whatever, and they won't allow you to do a pre-order. I just see some hiccups there. And me personally, as a person who had the N64 the day it released, I'm just like, man, that kind of sucks. I've always been a Nintendo fanboy, but I do not have the kind of time to put in for this. And that excludes me. And, if there's anything anyone hates the most, it's being excluded.
I mean, like CJ Lovelady saying, you should have put more time in Animal Crossing. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You decided to platinum Bloodborne instead. You could have been working on your village.
That's true. That's on me. You're right. I have no leg here. What else you got, Landon?
That's pretty much it for me. Like I said, a lot of stuff was dominated by the Switch 2 and tariff talk. So,
yeah, Randy, you
if
have
I'm
anything
missing
video game
anything
related? You don't have to think up anything. It's totally fine.
No, I think season 2 of Marvel Rivals is coming, but
yes, in a couple days. And we're getting Ultron and Emma Frost. So it'll be interesting to see how they play. But anyway, I hope that this news didn't just graze you. This has been the bullet points.
Oh, good.
You're doing Welcome back to the show. So we got episode 8 of Daredevil yesterday. I watched it, and boy, is that an episode. some things definitely happened. If you are following the series to this point and you've been following my reviews of the series to this point, I have been greatly underwhelmed by everything that Marvel is doing with this series. We're not getting enough Daredevil in our Daredevil series for sure, and this episode was no exception. We got no Daredevil in this episode. We got Matt lawyering a little bit. We got him being moody a little bit, and we got a little bit of Bullseye in the episode. We did find out the mystery of who got Foggy's, who ordered Foggy's death, which prior to this episode wasn't a mystery we were even talking about because we just assumed it was that Bullseye was crazy. But apparently that's been some mystery running in the background the whole season that I didn't catch. But the mystery is solved all in the same episode that it was brought up. So that's cool. And Kingpin is, for a man that for 10 years worked from the shadows and hid his empire and didn't allow anyone to know that he even existed or that he was running companies or even doing anything, for him to be mayor of New York and be obviously out in the open dragging donors into a secret room to have secret meetings with them at a gala with hundreds of people is a little different from the Kingpin that we knew during the Netflix series. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we are having with this series is that I don't think the people making the show understand the characters that they are using. Matt is a devout Catholic who struggles with his violent nature and his, letting evil happen when he can do something about it. And Wilson Fisk is a cold, calculating, dangerous man who never lets emotion lead him until and that's one of the things that always makes for the best turns in the comics, because whenever Daredevil defeats him, whenever Batman, whenever Spider-Man defeats him, whenever the Punisher defeats him, they find a way to really, really, really piss him off and get him making moves that he wouldn't normally make so that he makes mistakes. And the Netflix series did that very well. Like it took a lot for him to finally like cut loose with this rage that lives inside of him, because he's this giant, scary human being that is way stronger than a normal person should be. He's like 3 gorillas trapped in a big white suit. And this MCU series, he's a fucking crybaby, and he has no he's not in control. He's not cold. He's not calculating. He like moves from one emotional extreme to another, and he's not very smart. Like the Kingpin should be viscerally smart. You should be like, fuck, that guy's smart. And that is just not the case. And this episode highlighted how far off the mark they are with that character. So I'm very unhappy with this episode. Very similar to the prior episode we've got. I'm very sad that this is what Marvel gave us, expecting us to be thankful that we're finally getting Daredevil back on screen, because we just are not getting Daredevil in the Daredevil show. So for my money, I'm so sad that this series is what they're giving us, and I wish that it was better, but it just isn't. Unless this final episode is just insane, like insanely good. They've got one more episode to prove to me that they can pull this out of their ass and make this Daredevil series worthwhile. Otherwise, I just feel like I've wasted 8 hours of my life to this point. I hate to feel that way about an MCU property, because I just love superheroes so much, but that's just not what we're getting. This is like, God, what would be a good comparison? Spider-Man 3, where we barely got Toby in the Spider-Man suit for the entire movie. This is the Spider-Man 3 of MCU live action series. That's how I feel about it.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm sorry, there's not enough Daredevil in the Daredevil series.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
I'll be a little bit of an angel on your shoulder, talking down from the lack of Daredevil on your other shoulder. But I think it's a okay series as a casual watcher. Like I said, I haven't seen the second season that you say is perfect.
It
so
really
I
is.
I don't know what fall from grace this is, but it's, I think, interesting. I will say, last episode, the 7th episode, I second screened it and I could not tell you what happened. Like, it was not very enticing at all. This one I thought was setting up something more interesting than it ended up doing, but I will like.
Yeah, that's like the fucking that's what the whole series is. I thought this was setting something up something more interesting, and then it fucking didn't. That's like every episode.
he basically like, because it's like, oh, there's like this intrigue because they bring up Foggy's death being who did it, who done it, that they never mentioned up till now.
Yeah, right.
But I thought they were going to do something interesting with that. They're setting up all these interesting things and then not following through with them unless they plan to later, which like you're trying to reboot this series. Like, don't bring it up later. My guess is, my generous read on it is like Born Again is like, oh, he's going to like go through this arc and then be born again as Daredevil because he gave it up. But then why have him give it up and have like a less interesting first season, have a more interesting second season, just make them both interesting. And like they set up like Vanessa, Kingpin's wife, as like more competent than him and like a better Kingpin than he is, and like just at Kingpin things, and he's the mayor now, and like it's whatever. And then I don't know. Like, I think that the end of this episode kind of set up, like it was set up earlier and it was interesting, like what they did, but I don't know why they're doing it. So I don't know what the next episode is going to reveal. Like, there's a chance that it becomes something cool, but it's not yet. And the previous like 8 episodes have not made it lead up to this cool moment. It's just everybody's a little bit sad and like flip-flopping on their motivations and what they want, and I don't know. I like now I'm souring on it the more I talk about it.
Here's the end of the episode. Spoiler alert for anybody, like plug your ears or whatever. End of the episode, Bullseye breaks out of prison, goes to the gala, knocks out a guard, grabs his rifle, and then tries to shoot the Kingpin and not accidentally, but Matt jumps in the way and gets shot instead. And he's laying on the ground bleeding out. It looked like it was a shoulder shot, but they kind of played it like the way that Foggy got shot in the heart. So who knows how that's going to go down. But Daredevil's going to go into episode 9 with a fucking bullet through his chest. So that's fun. But also, those of you who don't know what the fuck Bullseye is about, why the fuck did he go get a rifle with a scope on it? He wasn't even that far away. He could have thrown a fucking toothpick and killed him.
I was going to say, there's some weird editing there because the immediate like scene prior, he goes and picks up like a meat poker, like what you carve a turkey with, or ham, whatever. And then the next scene, he has a rifle, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense.
The guard that had the rifle had the
okay.
I missed that part. Like at the same time, like he could have literally grabbed anything. Like he's known for like knives, throwing stars, like all sorts of stuff, and he kills this guard and takes his rifle and then uses the scope. Okay, it's established earlier in this exact same episode that whatever process Bullseye went through to fix his spine gave him heightened vision better than that of an average human being. And whenever he gets the rifle, he uses the fucking scope to shoot a thing that he absolutely does not need to shoot somebody with because he's Bullseye.
Did the spinal like fix, did that also give him like superhuman tooth spitting abilities?
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, he also spits a tooth so hard he kills somebody, which I get being accurate, but what the hell is that?
Like a one-shot death by like canine tooth that you put yourself.
It's like, again, I feel like the people they put in charge of this, whether that be the first group that had it, that they're reshooting all of the stuff from, and like some of this might be left over from that idea, or the new people that have it, which was the guy that did, what was it? Luke Cage? No, Punisher. The guy that made Punisher for Netflix is in charge of this season of Daredevil, but they don't understand the characters they have. It is really poorly done. The stories don't make sense. It's all over the place. And I just I want to be optimistic. I want it to be good and I want it to get better. And I don't want to be this fucking hater ass fanboy, but they're making me into an edgelord and I don't want to be an edgelord. Like, this is not the person that I am. I'm usually like, oh, fuck yeah, that rubber costume was awesome. And now I'm just like, Jesus, fuck, can I have Daredevil in the Daredevil series, please?
Just
anyway.
A little sprinkle of Daredevil, please.
Yeah, something. My God, something. Even the Daredevil scenes where he was in the Daredevil costume when he fought Muse was stupid. Like, it was just stupid.
Do you skip the intros? Because you get a little bit of Daredevil in that.
Right, yeah, not the way I want it.
That's enough to tide you over for the episode.
And on top of that, We got the Devil May Cry anime that came out. It was good. I will review that. It was good. It was enjoyable. It was watchable. I will say that whoever is picking the music for this thing does not understand that period of music because they are picking the worst songs that nobody liked. Like Keep Rollin' by Limp Bizkit is the theme music. No one was ever into that song. Like it was the Undertaker's ring entrance music for a while, and people kind of patently hated it. And they had one Rage Against the Machine song in it, but it's not like one of the good Rage songs. It was Guerrilla Radio. Like it was very much like a
They
person
worked
who
what was in their budget.
it was very much like a person who knew these genres and these artists, but didn't know what was good and what wasn't. It was other than that though, the music was off-putting for me. It kept being songs that I'm like, why is this in here? But that being said, the animation was great. It is a little weird because Johnny Young Bosch voices Dante in this series, and in the video
I didn't realize
games,
that.
in the video games, Johnny Young Bosch voices Nero, which is Dante's nephew.
I didn't know that either.
In Devil May Cry 4 and 5. So it was weird hearing Nero's voice coming out of Dante's mouth instead of actually getting Dante's voice actor to do this character. But that being said, I like the new storyline. I like what they did with it. I like the way they're setting season 2 up for the big battle between Dante and Mundus, which is what the first Devil May Cry game is about. So we're kind of leaning into that. The setup is there for them to go into that world. Virgil's back. He showed up. You know, Dante cut his head off, or half of his head off, and at one point in the series. But he survived and he's back. I'm excited about that. I think that season 2 of this is going to be fun. I just, as a fan of 90s new metal / grunge music, I just think the person choosing the music for this just knew enough to choose it, but not enough to know what they were doing. But that's really my only complaint. The series was great.
It was all songs I recognized, so I think that's what they went for someone like the layman to like be like,
Right.
oh, that's that song.
Again, also, I think they're going for what was in their budget. I mean, you can't necessarily get the cream of the crop.
Well, I think Rage Against the Machine is a fine option, but I think
no,
Guerrilla
I mean,
Radio
like-
is not a good Rage song to pick. I think there were Limp Bizkit songs that would have been a fun song for the entrance, but I don't think that's a good one, you know?
Again, like, it's a little different. You can pick like a not as well regarded song and still get it for a little cheaper. You know what I mean?
That's valid. I hear what you are saying, Landon. I am picking up what you were putting down. But anyway, this has been my review of both Daredevil, Born Again episode 8, and the entirety of the series for Devil May Cry. Check that out though on Netflix. It's actually really good as opposed to Daredevil Born Again. Speaking of cool things, this week on the hit list, we're talking about our 5 favorite mecha. Welcome to the hit list. This week we are talking about our 5 favorite mecha. If you are not familiar with the concept of mecha, it is really just robots, whether that be a robot vehicle that you ride in blowing shit up, or it's just a good robot friend. It can be either of those things, just robots in general. But Landon, would you be so kind as to give me your number 5?
All right. So number 5 is the Hippie Hop from Kids Next Door. I like this thing because it was designed specifically to be the most put together piece of technology that the K&D have. It is designed to be a little shinier, not completely made up from no secondhand parts, but doesn't look like it's just completely duct taped together like everything else. And the whole gimmick behind it is that it goes out and instantly gets destroyed every time. Like, doesn't even put up a fight, has a big intimidating entrance of some kind, and then gets completely destroyed. And I just think that's a fun bit. Like, the most advanced piece of technology just getting destroyed instantly, which sometimes happens for a lot of mech and a lot of mech series.
Yeah. I was never a huge fan of Codename Kid Next Door. I know enough about it to kind of know what you're talking about, but I was never super into it.
That's a shame. It's a good series.
Yeah. I may someday circle back and check it out.
I did watch it a lot. I don't remember a ton of it. But I do remember like tuning in every time I saw it on. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a one that I visited regularly.
Randy, what do you have for your number 5?
My number 5 is a magic card. I'm sure there's other mechs, but this one is one that I recently got and want to make into a commander deck. It's Shirakai Genesis Engine. It's a vehicle. It has to be crewed by other creatures, and it can be your commander. It's just kind of fun. It makes its own pilot, so it does its own thing. Just the art, I think, is sick. I don't really know if it's going to be a good deck, but it's going to be a cool looking card.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's another picture, but it's like a much smaller scale, but you can actually see a little dude inside of it. But it kind of just has the sleek Kamigawa look to it, and I like that set as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked very advanced.
I'm not much of a Magic the Gathering player, but looked cool. Looked cool. Randy, what do we have in chat?
Let's see. Jennifer Johnson says RoboCop.
RoboCop is a cyborg cop who, he gets killed in the line of duty, and they, against his will, resurrect him as a robot. Not much left of him, so they replace everything with robot body parts. There was a movie trilogy from the 80s, and then they tried to redo it with a modern movie from the 90s that nobody really liked.
Mm-hmm. And that same actor did Predator, and it kind of went the same way.
Yeah.
And then they tried redoing it again in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Kind of went the same way.
Cursed to never be successful again. CJ Lovelady says the Rabot from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
The robot. Let me see if I remember this thing. I think it's the one that's like tells this like crazy stories all the time.
I didn't watch a lot of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I didn't watch a lot. Watched some when I was a kid, but wasn't something I really paid attention to. It was like that naughty thing I saw when I was young enough. When I was up late enough to see Adult Swim come on.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of Adult Swim animation that like I didn't like because it was like too crunchy, and I think this was one of them. I was just like, yeah, not for me. Like, also like the adult themes and stuff. I was like, no, I don't know if I'm supposed to be watching that.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely remember being up late at night and being like, they said a swear word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coming up with anything. I know there's the like cybernetic Ghost of Christmas Past. That one's good. In the future, the year 3015, you'll come back in time to the future where you will destroy someone, and then robot overlords will come upon us. Anyway, it's a fun bit. Giant Rabbit, you're thinking of Turkeytron. Yeah, I was thinking of Turkeytron. It's Rabot. That's why I'm not getting it. Anyway, what else we got?
We got Kentucky saying Shining Gundam, G Gundam, Gundam Fight Club. Rabot. All my favorite of all time of Gundam series. It's old but awesome. Actually, it's super cheesy, but I was young and it hooked me.
I'm on a Gundam kick right now. I'm trying to get around to watching all of the series. Obviously, there's a lot.
It's something that's always been on my list to finally check out. But if you know me, you know that the list of things I need to check out is long. And I don't always get to the things that people keep telling me to get to.
Yeah, you got to stop sleeping, man. You're wasting everybody's time. I actually, going back to Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I actually do a pretty good Meatwad impression. Because, that was a lot of fun back in the day. But I can do the, you gotta be the death to say words like damn and hell and ass. Now you get your damn hell and ass back to your room.
Nice.
But
that seems pretty good. That also is so close to a Towley as well.
Oh yeah, not far from Towley. What else we got?
Gizmo Duck, says Eric Johnson.
Oh yeah, Gizmo Duck is awesome. I loved Gizmo Duck. I love that period where they did all the spin-offs from the DuckTales. characters. They're actually doing not necessarily a Gizmo Duck, but I can see it following. Since the DuckTales got a really popular reboot, now they're doing a Darkwing Duck reboot. Jim Cummings, the voice of Darkwing Duck, is going to voice both Darkwing and Launchpad on the series. And then I can definitely see that if that is successful, we will then probably get a Gizmo Duck reboot. So I'm excited about all of that.
B. Rhodes says, Sexbot from The Whitest Kids You Know, it wants sex. I have not seen that bit.
I'm not familiar with that sketch, Billy. I apologize.
But all their sketches are pretty solid gold. So Jennifer Johnson says kaiju vibes on that card on the Shuriko.
Yeah, your card is a little kaiju.
Marble says Wally.
Wally. You said it wrong. That's on you. That's on you, Randy. You let us all down. Wally is one of the best Pixar films, I think, for my money.
Some of the most beautiful scenes in movies in general, honestly, especially with like the space flight scene.
I've never cared so much about a cockroach in my entire life.
Is the cockroach the pilot? Secretly? I know it's not, but
have you not seen Wally?
No, I have. Yeah. I'm just saying it's a mech like being piloted.
This
guy. Bad joke. I'm sorry.
nothing like watching you fall on your face, Randy. Yeah. That was
my comedy is just a shotgun, and sometimes one of the pellets.
I think the point of a shotgun is it's hard to miss. Am I not wrong?
Yeah, but that's because there's so many like little things that there's a lot that maybe don't.
Anyway,
I'm not good at shotguns either.
Moving along, what else we got?
I think that's all of ours. Fives.
My number 5 is from a Hideo Kojima game. They actually dropped a playable demo along with Metal Gear Solid 2, and it is Zone of the Enders. If you haven't played this game, you play in these spherical realms where you fight other robots, other mech robots in space. You fly around, you blast missiles and guns at each other. It is a lot of fun. And for a Hideo Kojima game, it's just all around action and adventure, and there isn't a lot of like characters talking back and forth with each other like most of his games are. Love Zone of the Enders.
Here's one I have never.
You never played it?
Partook in.
Check it out. Landon, what do you got for number 4?
All right, my number 4. Speaking of Hideo Kojima, it is the Metal Gear. Just in general, they're all pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I have Metal Gear Ray up there right now, mostly because Metal Gear Solid 2 was the first Metal Gear Solid game I had ever played. But yeah, they're just these big, massive machines meant for war. And you gotta stop them from being activated, or sometimes fight them after they've been activated. It's insane. It's a lot of fun to play, to fight. They're just insane and cool robots.
Yeah, they do a good in the Metal Gear games. The Metal Gears are never the main character in any way, shape, or form, but they make for a great end boss whenever you finally get through all the sneaking and the espionage and the stealth stuff, and you have to finally come up against this giant robot that you can't hide from, and you actually have to fight this damn thing. And nothing makes you feel more badass than just getting your weapons out and dropping this fucker after hours of scooting around in the levels covered by a cardboard box.
Yeah, when you're finally able to use the rocket launcher you got a long time ago, and it's never been useful for anything else in the entire game, and you finally got the thing to use it on.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's empowering in a way.
Yeah, it is. It's you're like, yeah, it's like finally having something to punch whenever all you've had is like frustration, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, what's your number 4?
Oh, I was about to start pulling chat ones up.
Oh no, you got to do yours. Yours
mine
first,
is the mech suits from Edge of Tomorrow. I just think they're really sick. And then the like manga that it's based off of, which is
All You Need Is Kill.
All You Need Is Kill. I think like I looked them up to see what they look like, and I was like, these look even cooler because I knew they looked different, but I never actually saw what they look like. And they're coming out with like a anime series, right?
Yeah, it's about
so
to
I
get
don't
an
know
anime.
if they're. I don't know how closely they're following the manga, but
they're going to be as far
it is.
from the manga in the anime as they were in the movie. from the manga.
That's what I had heard. So,
But just visually, I think they're going to pay homage to the story a little bit better than the live action did.
but yeah, I like that movie, and like I was trying to think of Mechs because I don't watch like Gundam or like Evangelion, or I haven't watched a lot of mech stuff, so I was trying to come up with stuff, and I liked those suits. So, but yeah.
Becca said this episode made me realize I do not watch enough robot related media.
Same.
Anyway, yes, Edge of Tomorrow is the movie which I still have not seen. I've not watched it.
It's good. Do you like Groundhog Day?
Yeah, I do like Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog Day with mechs.
Cool.
And aliens.
And aliens. And Emily Blunt being a badass.
Yeah, I kind of have a thing for Emily Blunt. So
there you go.
What do we have in the chat, Randy?
She has a big helicopter blade as a weapon. We have Eric Johnson's Gundam Epion, which they spelled correctly in this one, from Gundam Wing. Or Epion. I don't know how to pronounce it, honestly.
I don't know either. Eric, put the pronunciation in the chat.
I'm guessing not Epion, because that makes it sound like a sleepy robot.
Gundams are just awesome. Like I have my Gundam up here. I think they're cool. I love the design of Gundam, and it's very like when you see a Gundam, you know it's a Gundam. Like there's a lot of giant robots in fantasy, but you know a Gundam when you see one.
I was gonna say, I feel like they'd be easy to confuse with Transformers, but they both have a very distinct like visual style that separates them enough to like be two different entities.
Absolutely.
It's the ornamental designs along with the angular designs that really sets them apart from most other robots.
Yeah. What else we got?
We got Kenpachi saying Eva number 1 or 01
from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yes.
Yeah, I small nerd admission. I tried to get into Evangelion, and I'm not very far into it. And I feel like I really need to like sit down and force myself to get further into that series because I hear a lot of really good things about it. But like, I've never finished it.
I mean, tried to second screen it, and I was like, this deserves full attention, so I haven't gone back to it yet.
No, I definitely agree. It deserves full attention. The ending, it gets weird at the end.
Yeah.
Which I feel as though you would have already learned that if you got into it.
Yeah. I know some. I haven't delved into it too deep to like spoil it for myself, but I know that there's some twists. There's some twisty stuff near the end.
We got CJ Lovelady, Turkeytron, 10,000 years in the past, in the future.
Yeah. It's the very confusing, great character. I love when that robot shows up in Aqua Teen Hunger Force, for sure.
Jennifer Johnson, Burbles from Thundercats.
Not familiar with. I know Thundercats. I don't know what a Burbles is.
I like the name.
From
We'll see if I like
2011. They're bear
robot bears.
Yeah, they're robot bears. So I didn't watch this series, and that's why I don't know what they are. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Are they like the Ewoks, but for Thundercats?
They kind of look like Thundercat Ewoks.
Kinda. They're a bit more verbose than Ewoks, but yeah, kinda.
I also see toys, which is probably which I mean, Thundercats, I guess, was made for toys as well.
It's crazy the number of like Thundercats reboots we've had, because I don't know that I've watched many of them.
I've heard the one, is it from Netflix? I've heard it's good, like one of the newer ones.
I think that's this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, what else we got?
Marbles saying more Disney. Baymax.
I love Baymax. He's the Big Hero 6 was a great idea, and I'm sad that it didn't get a sequel. It was a Marvel comic originally, and then they turned it into a Disney movie, but the comics kept going, so there's definitely more story to tell there, but Disney didn't keep going. But the visuals of the Baymax character in the giant robot armor is so cool, and I want more. I love the character. I think he's great.
Go ahead.
So I didn't have any more to add.
B.E. Rhodes, the robot that hunts you during the somewhat damaged mission in Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty.
You know this one, Landon?
I watched a Let's Play of Phantom Liberty like a while ago, and I feel like I know this, but I can't bring it up in my mind.
I don't know anything about it. Randy, are you familiar? Were you a Cyberpunk player?
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry, Billy. We have all failed you.
Billy, I feel exceptionally bad about failing you. I'm sorry.
I've done nothing but fail people this this episode.
I think that's all of our number 4s in the chat. Eric
Uh,
Johnson said Beer Hero 6 is a tragically underappreciated movie. I agree with that. CJ Lovelady said there is a follow-on animated series for Big Hero 6. Was not aware of that.
Ooh, me neither.
So I might have to check that out.
Disney does a really good job of like burying good stuff on their platform,
Yeah.
which is what I assume it's on.
My number 4 is from a N64 game. I don't know how many of you played it, but I played the shit out of it. It was called Blast Corps. You play as these construction robots, and you are a team, and you have to go around finishing construction projects. There's a good amount of demolition and then construction mixed together. But mostly it was just a really cool game on the N64 where you got to run around as giant robots. And there wasn't a good like Voltron or Mech game or Power Rangers or Transformers game on any of those systems at that point. So it was like the closest thing you could get. And I invested a lot of hours into this game just because it was so fun. The mechanics for the giant robots were so well done that the replay value was huge for me.
I've never played that game, but it does seem like like it would be up my alley. But I remember that cover very distinctly.
Yeah.
Like seeing it to be like rented.
Yep. It's a good game. It's a good game. If you've never checked it out, check it out. If you can get it on like the Switch Virtual Console or whatever, it's a good time.
Yeah, it's always something I always saw at the shops, but never picked up.
Oh, my ear itches. Landy, what do you have for your number 3?
All right, my number 3 is The Titan from Symbiotic Titan. This was a show I watched a lot as a kid. Real sad it didn't get a continuation just because like the toy sales weren't up to snuff. But yeah, this was a series about aliens coming to Earth to hide after their entire planet gets overrun. And the Titan would fight off all the big monsters that would come and hunt them afterwards. It didn't come out every episode, but when it did, it would kick ass. It was great.
So it wasn't like oh, we got to call the giant robot to solve all of our problems.
It wasn't like you were pulling out the Megazord at the end of an episode. It was like, okay, this is a threat big enough for the big robot. Other times it's like, this is a minor threat, we could take care of it ourselves, or this is something we're either just going to avoid, or this threat isn't actually a threat, we'll take care of it in a different way.
Oh, that's really cool. I don't remember that series, but I feel like I want to check it out.
I highly recommend checking it out. It kind of ends on a cliffhanger because it's only got one season, but check it out.
Did it get like companion comics after the fact or anything like that, continuing the story, or were they just like done?
I think it was just like they're just done.
That sucks. Randy, what do you have for number 3?
My number 3, shout out to John Swayze again, but the city mech from Soul Eater. Lord Death is like bound to the city. I don't honestly remember why, but he can't leave the city, and they have like a big spider mech that starts attacking them. So he turns his whole city into a giant mech so he can Reaper chop the spider. And here he is shown flipping him like a table, which is one of his other like ultimate moves. It's very fun and very silly, but I love it. It was a late addition to my list, and I remembered it just in time.
I watched Soul Eater and somehow don't remember this.
I didn't remember it until we started talking about John Swayze, and then I was like, "Oh, right, there's a mech scene in."
And he'll be here next week, and we can ask him questions about it. Like, John, what were you thinking when you decided to turn into a giant robot city? And he'll be like, "Guys, it's a cartoon." And be like, "It sure is, John."
If I have to guess, he would probably also not remember it.
Yeah,
because
he'd be like, "Did I do
it's
that?"
not a very big part. It's like for half an episode, and then he never uses it again in the anime. I don't know about the manga, but
oh my god, I just realized something.
What?
So, quick tangent. All of the voice actors kept talking about how they did not know what their characters did in their series, right? Like they just were not paying, not that they weren't paying attention, but just that they have so many characters they voice and how they're often like not told exactly what's going on or what series they're working on and everything. We could just ask him about stuff that never happened to any of his fucking characters and just see how long it takes for him to catch on.
That is true. Our first celebrity guest could also be our last celebrity guest. We could lambaste him so badly that no one will ever come on our show again. Oh, I love it. Oh, Randy, what do we have in chat?
We got Eric Johnson, Osimo 3000, which is, I believe, South Park.
Yep.
Cartman becomes a robot, sort of. And is he the one
they've been talking South Park a lot lately? Those guys do something?
Yeah. I brought up. I'm the ultimate segue, bringing up Towley and then into Osimo 3000. Is he he was the one that makes all the movies that involve Adam Sandler? They keep stealing him to make pitches, I think.
I don't know.
And every single one, he like pitches movies like all day, and every single one of them involves Adam Sandler.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure because he's like a companion robot to Butters.
Yep.
And then I don't remember why, but they end up going to like Hollywood, and the like TV or the movie execs like pull him aside and make him pitch them movies. And they make some comment about like 600 movies all starring Adam Sandler.
I'm sure that the chat can tell us faster than I can, but the IMDb page says Cartman dresses up as a robot from Japan sent to Butters. He tricks him into believing it can. Tricks him into believing it and can't give away his identity because he finds out Butters has a video of him dancing to Britney Spears and kissing a Justin Timberlake picture. It gets even more out of hand as the military decides to try to capture the robot to make it a weapon.
Yeah, I think they capture it from the TV execs or so. Yeah, it goes. I mean, like all South Park episodes, it goes bananas pretty
off
quick.
The rails. Okay, what else we got?
Jennifer Johnson says Heavenly Robots from Castle in the Sky.
Yeah, the Studio Ghibli, but absolutely the tech in Ghibli movies never looks functional, but it always looks cool or interesting for sure.
It's beyond human comprehension now.
Yeah,
because it's
usually
so
just
ancient.
Like a big dome and some arms and legs.
CJ Lovelady says Ultra Mega Dragon Zord.
Yeah. You got to summon the Dragon Zord with your dragon flute that's also a dagger, and then wear a really cool vest. If I learned anything from Power Rangers, it's that never underestimate the power of a vest.
If I've learned anything from Power Rangers, it's never underestimate anything. Anything can be a weapon.
That's true.
Every morning I wake up and say, finally, after 10,000 years, I'm free.
You know what? The crazy thing about Power Rangers is you can accidentally defeat a bunch of putties with a basketball because they're that easy to defeat. And then randomly, even when you're like fully powered up as a Power Ranger, they will just beat the shit out of you with your full powers sometimes. Like the power scaling is just all over the place. Like there's no explanation for why the villains suck and then don't suck, just depending on the day.
It's the conservation of ninjutsu. If
Yeah.
it's versus 1, you can't beat them. But if it's versus 1,000, you just smack them. And they're done.
What's the thing Marbles is talking about there? I try explaining the game to people and no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
I don't know. Let's see. This is the comment. I don't know where we're. Is it referring to Phantom Liberty? Cyberpunk?
No idea. Carry on.
Marbles, let us know.
EDI from Mass Effect 3.
Oh, Wave Race 64?
I think Marbles
Maybe
is talking about the game up yeah.
Your number 4.
Yes, Blast Core. I think
Blast
she's talking about Blast Core. Yeah, sweet. Marbles, awesome. Gosh. At least someone knows what I'm talking about.
Claire says, "Hey, Dad."
Hi, Claire Bear. My youngest is in the chat. I guess I can't say fuck now.
Marbles says her number 3, EDI from Mass Effect 3.
Edie from Mass Effect.
Edie, sorry.
I've never played Mass Effect, so I'm assuming this is a cool little robot.
Yeah, she starts out as just the AI for the ship in the second game. She and Joker kind of form. Joker's the pilot. They form a bond, and then in the third game, she gets a robot body.
Okay.
And she and Joker are dating.
Mass Effect's the zombies in space game, right?
No, you're thinking of
Dead.
Dead Space. Okay, my bad.
Mass
My bad.
Effect is just space opera fighting against giant ancient evils called Reapers.
Yeah, dude, because it's like a lot of decision-based stuff, right? Like you do a lot of
Yes.
conversations and decisions. I tried it. Like I was in the first game, and I hear that like the later games aren't as bad, but the first game was like so boring. Like I tried, and I was like, I don't want to play this.
The first game is The second game is great.
Yeah.
Third game, it's not as good as 2, but it's good.
Okay. I might someday get around to checking them out. You know, I have a lot of things on my plate, but maybe I'll give it a strong maybe. Maybe they'll do a reboot where it's easier to play one, and then I can do the whole franchise.
It's a series I've always admired from afar, but don't know if I'll ever play.
Or I could just watch a YouTube video on it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Rebecca Allison says late number 4, C-3PO. She finally thought of one. Then she said,
yes.
oops, we're on number 3.
The protocol droid from all of the Star Wars movies. Number 3.
And then their number 3 is K2SO from Rogue One.
That is the one. K2SO is voiced by
Alan Tudyk.
Is it Alan Tudyk? That's the one with Alan Tudyk? Yeah, very good. The most sarcastic of all of the Star Wars droids.
He's probably the only droid that I've cared about in Star Wars.
Billy Rhodes got a number 3 up there.
Mega's XLR Cartoon Network show had a car for a head. No one else has seen it. It doesn't matter.
I know Mega's XLR.
Yeah, I remember Mega's XLR. I have Mega's XLR tattooed on my chest, Billy. Right next to my nipples, which I definitely have.
They're not tattooed on?
No, they're real, and I have them.
When you
have to show proof.
I would say when you say it, it makes it
believe me, okay? It'd be weird if I didn't.
When you say it, it makes it seem like they are just tattooed on.
They're definitely real, and I definitely have them.
Kampachi says all the mechs from Pacific Rim, they call them Jaegers. Mechs versus Kaiju is the best thing ever. I would agree.
Yes.
I almost put this on my list because Jaegers fuck.
Same. I figured someone else would have it.
Jaegers
so I tried to
fuck.
avoid it.
Yeah, that's the T-shirt I need. Dude, there was a period here where they weren't putting out good kaiju movies. They weren't really doing anything in the kaiju sphere, and Pacific Rim dropped and was like, how about some giant fucking robots fighting some giant fucking monsters? And then after that, they were like, well, maybe we could bring Godzilla and Kong back and have them fight each other with like a Mecha Godzilla, and we'll just dump a bunch of money into that. But it was like up until that period, like they weren't really doing anything with those characters. And I fully blame Pacific Rim for starting that and getting people excited about giant things hitting each other again. The first one's great. The second one is all right. But Pacific Rim is a blast. I beginning, middle, and ends. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I really like I'm like, just give stuff to Guillermo del Toro, because I don't think has he made a bad movie?
Has Guillermo del Toro made a bad movie?
Because like I think he's just like does good things, and they're always like fun and like like he made Pacific Rim. So like just give him, has he done a Godzilla movie? I don't think so.
He's not.
Give him Godzilla. Give the man Godzilla. Because he likes the monsters. So like give him the monsters.
This Pinocchio movie wasn't great.
I thought it was okay, but yeah, that one did some stuff that I was like, meh, but I still enjoyed it. But
Hellboy, the first one's okay, the second one's not good.
That's another Mechs though, the Golden Army.
Yeah.
It could be my number 1. It's not. Spoilers, it's not.
Yeah, I feel like The Shape of Water is in Guillermo del Toro, I guess, unless he did Creature Effect, because that was M. Night Shyamalan.
No, Lady in the Water was M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh.
Shape of Water was a good movie.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
Might be dog.
It has the guy who plays Ape Sapien, I believe, plays the creature in that.
Yeah, it's Doug Bradley. No,
Jones. Doug Jones.
Doug Jones, yeah. Anyway, moving along. What else we got?
We got CJ Lovelady saying the Pacific Rim anime is surprisingly good.
Can agree with that.
I haven't watched it, but I will also hop on that train. I think that is all of the number 3s from chat.
Fantastic. My number 3 is 5 lion robots that combine to form one giant robot, Voltron. Um, Voltron, I would say I can give 100% credit to get me into the idea of giant mechs fighting. It is the earliest thing I can remember where it was giant robots with swords hitting each other. And Voltron holds a special place on my part, be that the original series or Legendary Defenders. Whenever they dropped that on Netflix, they're both incredible. And I can't say enough good things about it, but Voltron was just an idea that we'd never seen before. And coming to the United States, it kind of changed the game for us. Later on, Transformers Generation 1 added like combiner robots that could turn into one giant, 5 robots that turn into one giant robot. But I think that Voltron predates that and can take credit for that idea being as popular as it eventually became.
I want a cup holder that looks like his hand.
I can make that happen. Make that happen.
I think I need that. Have you watched the newest show that's been on Netflix?
Legendary Defenders.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah. Friend of Cape Events, Josh Keaton, was the voice of Shiro, pilot of the Black Lion.
Gotcha. I need to watch it. It's been on my
prior
list
to becoming Spider-Man.
I loved She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, and feels like there's another show that was in that same like style, like a similar like art style.
Well, they did a He-Man series as well. That's what this Skeletor is from. But that was the Kevin Smith series.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the Legendary Defenders is awesome. It's the Netflix like that series is great, beginning to end. It's really good.
Eric Johnson says Voltron is a huge robot warrior formed out of 5 badass robot lions. How can anything top that?
Well, it's not my number 1, so something's topping it. What else we got? Oh wait, hold on. Never mind. Landon, what do you got for number 2?
Wait, did you not? Oh, right, Voltron.
That was my number 3.
Sorry, we're on too many tangents. My number 2 is the Mechs from Into the Breach. So for you,
what this is.
Yeah, so Into the Breach is an apocalyptic game where you are a team, you control a team of mech pilots as they use their mechs to go back in time and fight the invading giant insect kaiju things that are destroying the world. Every time you mess up or all your pilots die, just get defeated, you send one pilot back all the way in time to the beginning of the war again, and you try to fix it and not lose the war. All the mechs, though, are specialized. They do only a couple of things, but they're designed to work as teams. So it's like one will prevent enemy movement, another one will chain attacks between different enemies, and another one will be able to move enemies as need be. So you could just work on strategies and use all their abilities together to defeat the alien insects. And they're really neat designs. They go crazy with all the different abilities and combinations they're able to pull out.
And what platform is this on?
PC.
It's a PC game. Okay.
Yeah. If you've ever heard of FTL, that's a old PC. Well, I say old. It's from 2011. That's a PC game. It got a lot of love back in its day. It's from the same developers.
Okay.
I believe I own both those games, but I haven't played any of them. But I have heard Into the Breach. I think that was the first one I got. And because I've heard nothing but that it's wonderful. And it's like right up my alley. Is it like a roguelite where because you said you start back over?
Yes, it is a roguelike.
Okay. I would say I love those games. Those ones always scratch my itch.
Randy, what do you got for number 2?
My number 2 is Jump Scare, because it's a GIF. I'm breaking the rules a little bit. It's a flesh mech. It's the female Titan.
Flesh mech.
Yeah, I'm bending the rules. It is piloted by, because I took mechs as piloted by something. But it is the female Titan from Attack on Titan. I never finished the series because they took such a long break that I fell out of it. But I remember still, I think it's my favorite few episodes. They're going on a scouting mission, And I don't know if you've seen Attack on Titan, but
I've seen all of it.
They live behind a wall. I'd say I don't know anybody in chat hasn't heard of it or knows.
I was hanging out with Commander Irwin over the weekend.
Yeah, they live behind like a wall, and then one day like they're attacked by a giant Titan that's taller than the wall that they've built to like keep them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the main character joins the like what is it?
Scout forces.
Scout forces, and they're going on a scouting mission. Like it's a huge to do to like have all these different teams. And Aaron, what's his friend's name? He's in like the thing where they first see the bowl cut blonde.
Yeah,
Armin.
Yeah.
He goes and like he's with the scout and like they kill one Titan that's like I don't know if it's abnormal, but it's like running after them. And they're like, okay, we're good. Like that's maybe the only one we'll see. And then in the background, you see just like this thing in the distance, like coming straight for them, and they're like, oh, like we were gonna have to take care of that one because that one's really tall and running like it's an abnormal. And then like it just is on them before they even have time to react, and it is like running with purpose, which they normally kind of just dawdle around and like zombie style where they I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna ruin it, but it has a purpose, and they're like, we don't know what this is, so they're like, we need to take it down. Like it's a whole thing. There's a big I'm not gonna ruin it, don't worry. But I'm not gonna ruin it. It's okay. I'll cover the nape. I'll cover the nape of my neck, and I'll be fine. But because that's how you defeat them. You have to cut their neck. And this one like reacts to that.
I love that you're just like panic explaining and trying to stay away from the story.
I feel like she's gonna come through the screen and stab me. But like she reacts to it, or this thing. They call it the female Titan. Okay, I'll stop. people are saying don't. But yeah, and it's a great thing. It's a great little part of the show. But yeah, so that's sort of where everything kind of turned on for me, where I was like, okay, this show's cool. And then this is where I was just like, oh, there's more to this than just I am too young to get stabbed. Please don't stab me. Jin chooses violence more often than not. I won't spoil anything. I won't push that. But it's a great show. Flesh Mechs is, I guess, a new word that I've introduced.
Yeah, that's new to me.
But yeah, Flesh Mechs, because they're just mechs they're part like, yeah, they're just giant things. But yeah.
What do we have in chat, Randy?
I don't know. Let's see. Am I gonna get stabbed? Keep going, ruin it for everybody. I'm not going to. But yeah, so it's just a great show. I never finished it, so you guys can spoil the ending for me if you want. Don't actually. I don't want to have to throw that up in chat. But yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay.
And then in chat, I'll move past all the death threats. Let's see. I
You've gone too far.
Escaflowne, I think, was the first one from Jennifer Johnson. Please don't stab me. I never watched this.
Escaflowne is good. It was a Fox Kids.
I swerved all the like mech stuff as a kid, I guess.
Yeah, that's Escaflowne is a good one. I don't remember a lot of the plot. I just know that I enjoyed it whenever it was on.
Mm-hmm. We also have Voltron from CJ. Love Lady
yes,
is his
great choice,
2.
CJ. Great choice.
Were you the one that said what can be above that? But you put it at number 2?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Please don't stab me. No, the
Randy, no one's gonna stab you.
I'm scared now.
No one's gonna stab you.
My back is against a concrete wall, but I'm still scared. The Iron Giant. That was one that. Yep. See, that's the spoiler clause. This was one I like watched as a kid, but it always made me so angry because they would take up a 24-hour block on Cartoon Network and play it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So that movie I like hate because of that. And then also same thing goes for A Christmas Story.
That's
but
my
it's
favorite Christmas movie.
I know, but it's only because don't stab me. But it's only because they played it for 24 hours at a time, and they still do it with Christmas Story.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you guys have any fond memories of?
No,
the
I love
Giant?
Iron Giant. I love that it wasn't until I think after Fast and the Furious started coming out and being popular that people realized that that's Vin Diesel voicing the Iron Giant in the movie. He's basically a giant gun. That's the whole point of him. And
Superman.
he wanted to be something else, and he was built to just be a gun. It's based off of a book series. It's not a DreamWorks, or no, it's not it is DreamWorks. It's not a
Disney?
Pixar film, although a lot of people credit it to being Disney. It is not.
It's Fox Animated Studios.
Either way, it's great.
He's a Disney princess now.
Yeah. Iron Giant is great. I love that story. I love the movie. It was really well done. Landy?
I mean, I don't know what to say. I feel as though everybody out there praises the Iron Giant to hell and back, and honestly, it deserves all its praise. I'm pretty sure it is the last film that Fox Animation Studios did before they were shut down. So it was also their swan song because they got bought out and shut down.
Well, Fox finally got something right and then didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
It went out on a high.
It did go out on a high.
Marble says Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Data is the heart and soul of that series for a creature that has no heart or soul. Data is great, and unfortunately for an ageless cybernetic character, the actor actually continues aging, so Data just keeps getting older for all of his appearances. And I don't think they ever even wrote an explanation into it for why that happens. But Data is one of the best parts of Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
We got Metal Men from DC Comics.
Metal Men were DC's version of the one of DC's versions of the Fantastic Four. Similar powers to the Fantastic Four, but they are just a group of sentient robot superheroes. They've been shown not only in the comics, but they featured in Batman the Brave and the Bold several times. They don't have a lot of staying power. You don't see them a lot. They're kind of one of those like niche, like golden age DC comic things that people will bring up every once in a while. But they're cool. They're cool cast.
Yeah, they very much belong in the golden age, but it's fun to see them pop up every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Next from Kenpachi, we have the Zindolg from Night and Magic. I don't know if I'm saying that right. A centaur mech from the anime Knights and Magic. A great watch, only 13 episodes long.
I think I have seen that scrolling through, but I've never actually watched it.
Same.
Centaur Mech sounds pretty badass, though.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of Black Clover. Their castle that they live in turns into a giant bull mech that they can fight people with. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, it does look pretty sick. It's got a shield and a spear. Good for stabbing.
And then I think Becca maybe has the last number 2.
Mm-hmm. The little robot named Ron in the animated movie called Ron's Gone Wrong. My niece made me watch that movie so many times, and I love that robot so much. I've heard it's really good. It's one that I haven't watched, but I've heard that's a very good movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen Ron Gone Wrong, and that's on me. Marble said we're all flesh mechs.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. We are just fleshy mech bodies with brains steering us.
Oh no. This might be my last episode before. Are we going?
So
Are you going
to
stab me?
Is that all of chat?
I think so. Yeah.
What happens in the backyard stays there. Oof.
Yeah. Oh no.
Right. At least you know that you don't live near them. They're not in the state.
At least they're going to give me a margarita before I die. That's what the lime is for.
You don't have anything to worry about, Randy, until Cape Con, because they're going to be in town for that.
Okay.
So they'll be here.
I'm going to change I'm not going to reveal my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have until November.
Change my voice. I'll get my affairs in order.
My number 2 is from the Capcom game series of the same name, and that is Mega Man. Is there anything cooler than Mega Man? Maybe. It's definitely my number 2, so probably something. But Mega Man in all of his iterations, be that the original Capcom game where the difficulty was so fucking high that it drove everybody nuts. You know, who doesn't love a game where you have to fight your way through 9 bosses And then whenever you finish those 9 bosses and get to the end of level, you have to fight all 9 bosses in a row in order to finish the game. That's such a good idea. Really glad Capcom did that to all of us. But then, like, when you get into like Mega Man X and then Mega Man Adventures, there's just been so many great versions of Mega Man. He's a great character with unlimited potential and abilities. Whether he's a fighting game star or an action game star or a turn-based combat star, Mega Man's great.
Yeah,
I have not played Mega Man.
Any of them? You haven't played any Mega Man ever?
I've played Super Smash Brothers.
Wow, that's crazy. Landon, you ever played any Mega Man games?
Yeah, I played some of the original Mega Man, which it was incredibly difficult. And of course, I played like Battle Network. I was a young boy with a Game Boy Advance. I played a lot of Battle Network.
Yeah.
But as for like straight up like standard platforming Mega Man, besides the original, I haven't really played that much.
I've played a lot of the Mega Man games. I really think they hit their stride with Mega Man X, where you started getting like armor that changed your abilities outside of like defeating enemies and taking their powers, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, I just like Mega Man in general. I think he's a lot of fun. I like the even like the Amazon Prime series Secret Level, the Mega Man episode they did was like my favorite one out of all of the episodes they did.
Really, you thought that was your favorite one? I thought it was kind of lacking because it does the thing you hate most about superhero movies, where he doesn't ever put on the suit until the very end.
I would say my problem with that and a lot of the Superman stuff or the superhero stuff is that I know the lore. I know the lore backwards and forwards with all of those characters, but with Mega Man, there's a lot of like that's part of his story that's never been told. And so getting to see that, the like pre-Mega Man version of role was like really, really cool for me. And he did do a little bit of Mega Man stuff. I mean, he figured out the powers and abilities. It was just an origin story. So for a 15-minute episode, great. If it was an hour and a half movie and that was an hour and 15 minutes of it, I'd be pissed.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Landon, are you ready to give me your number 1? Landon, your number 1, please.
I had to try the little headphone thing Deontay does. I wanted to see what that was like.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever been able to do it.
Well, back in the day.
My number 1 is the Odin from StarCraft 2.
Oof, that is a mech.
This thing is what is known as a siege walker. The first time you ever see it is you capture it, and it's actually an escort mission. It's controlled by the AI. It walks through several enemy bases, and you have to defend it. You don't have to really defend it. All you have to do is keep it repaired, and it will just walk through all the enemy bases. It is a escort mission that is actually fun because it can hold its own, and that's rare to say. And then the second mission you have with it, you actually get to control it and have it destroy all your enemies for you. It is so much fun to play with. It hits hard, and you just got to keep it repaired, and it'll win the whole war for you. It's fantastic.
It kind of reminds me of like what Blastoise wishes he was.
Got him.
What game did you say this is from? I need to play this game.
StarCraft 2.
StarCraft. Ooh. That is a game I have heard a lot about, but have not played.
You can get the first campaign of StarCraft 2 for free right now.
Ooh.
On
Actually,
like a Steam kind of situation?
No, it's on Blizzard's launcher. It's a Blizzard
Okay.
game, so you got to get like Blizzard's whole launcher and everything, which if you don't want to deal with another launcher, I get it. The original StarCraft was just such an integral part of my childhood that I'm fine with dealing with Blizzard.
Yeah. I want to say we had some Mega Man people talking about the Mega Man games they played or whatever, and I saw a Mega Man Game Boy mentioned by Jennifer Johnson. There you go.
Put your other hand in front of it like a makeup tutorial person. No, behind, like in your face. Yeah.
Like that?
That's what they do sometimes in like makeup
it help?
tutorials to get it to focus.
It's not doing it.
Well,
Anyway, this is the original. This is the original Mega Man Game Boy game right here. I don't have an original Game Boy to play it on, but I do have the game. But anyway, Randy, what do you have for number 1?
My number 1 is the power loader from Aliens.
Get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah. Which turns out, according to the most recent movie, she stole that line.
Oh, okay.
One of the androids, or they're androids, right? Says it in the Romulus movie, and that's like a prequel. So I'm gonna give it to her though.
I haven't seen any of the Romulus movies. There's what, 2? Or is it 1?
Is it Romulus?
Romulus is
Prometheus.
Prometheus, yes.
Romulus is where does it takes place in between 1 and 2. But yeah, it's like they foreshadow it in the beginning because like her new job when she wakes up from hypersleep, she power loads things and she's supposed to be really good with it. So then it comes back at the end because she's got to save. Oh no, what's her name? What is Newt? She got to save Newt and Bishop.
I don't remember.
Yeah. She's fighting the alien queen with it because she kills all its like she flamethrowers its eggs in order to like get out of there. And and that's why she's saying get away from her, you bitch, because of that. So just the power loader from Aliens is a cool little thing, and it shows up in Archer. I don't know if anybody watches Archer, the TV show. He fights Barry, which is another
he's a
honorable
Russian
mention, I guess.
Cyborg.
Yeah. When they go to space, because that show goes places. But let's see. In chat, we got Eric Johnson. Number 1 is a tie between Robotech, Veritech, Valkyrie, and the Cyclone.
I really do love Robotech. That is such a great mech series.
It's another one I've missed. Like I said, I just swerved every mech anime or show. Kimpachi says the Shinkiro from Code Geass is Lucia's main nightmare frame, possibly the best anime ever.
Code Geass is awesome. Yeah, cannot say enough good things about that. If you haven't watched it, check it out.
I've not finished it, but I've made it pretty far into it.
Yeah.
But I do like just the title Nightmare Frames is a very cool name for mechs. Marbles, Star Wars droids. Couldn't choose one between K2SO, R2D2, or BB-8.
R2D2 for my money.
K2SO for me, I think.
Yeah. Landy?
I have to go with R2D2 as well.
All right, BB-8, be gone.
Boy. That's my boy.
You are the weakest link. Even though his little flamethrower, like middle finger, is pretty good.
BB-8 was a novel enough idea that he would be enjoyable for like a film. But for him to be the R2D2 analog for an entire trilogy of Star Wars films, he's basically just R2D2. You know what I mean? Like it's so redundant, the two characters, that it was like, oh, I get it, we're remaking New Hope. Oh, I get it, we're remaking Empire Strikes Back. Oh, I get it, we're remaking Return of the Jedi. Like by the end of that trilogy, it was like, come on, guys. Like honestly, like come on. Seriously. Not that I don't totally hate them as much as some fanboys do. I actually don't mind the newer Star Wars movies that much, but the overlap on these characters where it was unnecessary to create a new character to do the same thing that the character did previously in 6 other movies. It was just kind of a waste. Like BB-8 was cool. I think it's a cool design. Maybe they could have given him a voice. Maybe he could have been like, "Hey, BB-8, I'm over here. I'm gonna roll around." Like that might have been more fun than having him just be another R2.
Have you heard the theory that the
way to travel.
droids speak English, but they're just always cussing?
Yes, I've heard that. That R2 is the most profane character in history. They beeped every word he said. Yeah.
So maybe he does sound like that. I'm going to skip this one for a second because I'll come back to it because I might have to amend my number 1.
Do you know that in the Star Wars universe, the droids predate the people? Yeah.
I'm not that deep into Star Wars. So
the technology that creates the droids in Star Wars predates the people that live in that galaxy. None of them know how any of the droids were made or where the droids come from.
That's
But they make new droids.
It has on and off in different Star Wars series shown them repairing droids. Anakin did build a droid, but not everyone builds new droids. But the actual droids that exist in the universe predate all, like they predate. There's no history for where they came from. There were droids prior to civilization in the Star Wars galaxy.
Okay.
That's cool. I did not know that. We got CJ Love Letter saying Krang.
Right.
Yes. I love Ninja Turtles. I just replayed Shredder's Revenge with my youngest. And obviously Krang is like the main villain of that. A lot of nostalgia there for me. But yeah, what an absolute menace the first time he shows up, and then is just a joke every show after that. But yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I messed up the scroll. All right. Baymax from Rebecca.
Lots of love for
Allison.
Baymax here. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Jennifer Johnson, Sunny for My Robot.
That was the one I was going to come back to because I love this movie so much. This is such a good movie. Also, Alan Tudyk, of course, he can literally voice anyone. I love his story arc in the movie. Yes, I love it. I think it's like thinking about it just in a vacuum. I'm like, oh, that's kind of dumb about the like extra thick skin, but it's another part where I'm like, there's a good payoff, there's a good setup and good payoff, and it makes sense. It's like a little thing. It's not like a Deus Ex Machina where like, oh, he has the virus to shut down all the other robots. He just has thicker alloy that can get through the like force field, and I love that. It's like I've heard people like talk crap about this movie because it doesn't follow Isaac Asimov's iRobot like at all, but I love it. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a good setup. I think it's like just a solid film from start to finish.
That was a period there where Will Smith was in novel adaptations that did not follow the plot whatsoever. Like
I
Am
Legend.
I Am Legend does not follow the plot of Millennium Man, or whatever it is, the actual novel that it's based off of, where he's fighting vampires through the whole novel. And then in the Will Smith movie, they're like kind of zombie vampire hybrids. So far from the actual original story,
because like the whole point of like I think the book is that he's the monster that they fear, and like in the movie they do that, but that's not the point of it. It's more of like just action movie, like survival thriller kind of thing.
In the book, when he cures all of them of their vampirism, they can't accept him because he was the thing they feared when they still had vampirism. And so they end up he like kills himself at the end of it.
Oh,
There's
okay. I don't know that part of it.
The original ending of I Am Legend also hinted more towards the whole they fear him aspect, but it just didn't test well with test audiences. So they gave the he sacrifices himself ending instead.
Yeah, and the original ending of it, he lets the vampires come in to like kill him, and instead of him blowing up a grenade and killing all of them, they walk in, pick up the female vampire that he took, turn around and walk back out, and they leave him alive.
Yeah. The setup for it, I don't care for that much because he keeps remembering like his family, and his daughter keeps mentioning like a butterfly, and the zombie that he has, vampire that he's like testing on, has a butterfly tattoo. And then when the guy's like banging, the vampire dude is like banging on the glass, it cracks in the shape of a butterfly, and that's how he puts it together.
Hollywood.
So I'm like, that maybe could have been a little bit reworked, but like he figured it out, I guess. So it's like I don't know. It was a kind of like a swing away George from Signs, but like not as well done.
Oh wow, we're listing Signs as being well done. That's a
sign from God and everything, but like your daughter saw a butterfly. Like I think most kids probably have seen a butterfly and mentioned it to their parents.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, look, a butterfly." And you're like, "Yeah, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to do something."
Yeah, be like, we're in the middle of an evacuation.
Yeah,
please,
we're trying to survive
talking.
some vampires eating people. We'll check out the butterflies later.
I am on Jennifer's good side because I mentioned Ripley. Ripley is queen.
Yeah.
She's the real alien queen.
Let's see. Any
We
more
have,
number ones in chat?
We have an honorable mention from Kimpachi of C11 or 10P, better known as Chopper from Star Wars Rebels. That droid is definitely cussing at all the time. Listen to and you'll tell he's my favorite droid. Omega Man.
Yeah, that's the I Am Legend. It's based on the novel Omega Man.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Next person says the novel is I Am Legend. The Omega Man is a Charles Heston movie.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Billy.
I can't believe I forgot about Legion from Mass Effect either.
Okay. And then
I think that's everybody from chat.
My number one is the leader of the Autobots, the first one of the first action figures of all time, the one, the only Optimus Prime, born on Cybertron with the name Orion Pax. He was then proven to be the destined leader of the Autobots. Some say possibly resurrected from the 13th Prime. But Optimus is the leader of the Autobots and a generally great hero. He's one of my favorite protagonists of all time. He's cool as shit. Just look at him. I own several cool things. My next tattoo is going to be the Autobot symbol on my left shoulder, just like Optimus. And he believes that freedom is the right of all sentient beings, and that is the defining characteristic of Optimus Prime, and one of the coolest things about him. But yeah, he's Optimus is a historian and warrior, a wartime leader who didn't want to be what he is, and then he became the best at it. Did we skip Billy's number one?
That's what, I don't know if he's saying Optimus was his number one or if I missed it. I was going back.
He said there was my number one.
Well, I'm looking back. I can't find Billy's number one in chat.
See it.
Billy, is it possible if you forgot to post it? But anyway, go ahead and throw it up there, Billy, and we'll talk about it. But anyway, I love Optimus Prime. I think he's so freaking cool. I talk about it way too much, but they killed him off in the Transformers movie, and kids were so angry that they stopped eating and started a letter writing campaign. And and then they thought that the creators of Transformers were like, fuck them kids, and so they brought him back as a zombie and then killed him again just to teach him a lesson. But Optimus Prime has a lasting legacy. People love Optimus, and there's a reason. He's just cool, man.
Did you like the Transformers 1? Is that what it was called?
Transformers 1 was awesome.
I was gonna say I listened to like a detailed diatribe from a YouTube channel that I like, and she was singing like its praises because she loves Transformers. So I didn't know how you felt about it.
It does a great job of honoring the
thing.
expanded Transformers lore while telling a new story where we actually get to see Orion Pax and Megatron on their in their origins. It changes the established origin a little bit, but not in a way that breaks the universe. And I think they did a really good job. I think they played homage to Generation 1 and all of the like greater, more memorable Transformers cartoon series over the years, while still telling a fun story that played inside that universe. So yeah, I thought it was great. I have no complaints about Transformers 1. I really enjoy it.
I've only heard good things about it.
Yeah. I don't know that it will become a franchise, but I thought, when I heard Chris Hemsworth had been cast as Optimus Prime, I was like, what the fuck? Peter Cullen is still alive and can still be voicing Optimus Prime for us. But I think that he does a fine job as a younger Optimus Prime.
We got the number one, Liberty Prime from Fallout. Big robot, throws atomic grenades. Atomic bomb like grenades, unalives Chinese. Maybe I'm gonna get censored. Doesn't elaborate, leaves.
So
okay.
Liberty Prime, giant mech, designed to be like an anti-communist fighting robot. He does throw atomic bombs, not just like grenades, but also kind of like footballs, and just like it constantly is spouting like anti-communist, anti-China propaganda the entire time he's doing his thing. even though he is not at all fighting communists or China in the games.
Okay.
So he's also a magic card from the Fallout series. He's Liberty Prime Recharged.
Is he a villain? Like, is he a boss? Do you have to fight him, or
No,
is he just around?
You walk along with him while he fights against the Enclave, which actually is the remnants of the United States government.
Okay.
In Magic, he's red, white, and blue as his colors. As mana
just
colors.
like Optimus Prime. So he's like meant to be Optimus Prime. Is that the?
No.
No.
Close.
I think he's
kind of look like him at all, or
his flavor text on the card is "Democracy is non-negotiable." He looks more like the Iron Giant, honestly. Or this card, he looks like an Iron Giant.
Yeah, he's never that much fun to follow because he kills everything and you're just walking. It's cool the first time, and then subsequent times you're playing, it's just eh.
Yeah, he's got an Iron Giant vibe to him for sure. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a guy I would not want to mess with. How tall? Yeah, he's tall. I was going to say, how tall is he? He's very, very tall. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like 3-4 stories tall.
Yeah, he's like 70 feet tall, I would say. That's a big ass robot. Damn. Okay, cool. All right. That does it for this week's hit list. Next week, I think let's do 90s songs. I think that'll be one that will be, inviting to Mr. Swayze. I was looking at these like East Sky Worlds. He's probably not going to want to give us a list of 5 East Sky Worlds. Nintendo games might be good for him. Authors, Marvel heroes, DC heroes. Yeah, I think 90s songs is what we're going to go with. So next week on the hit list, we are talking about our 5 favorite 90s songs. And we'll come back for that next week. That was a terrible segue. Anyway, this has been the hit list. Welcome back to the show. That does it for this week, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. We could not do the show without you. Although if you don't believe for a second that me, Landon, and Randy can't just sit here and talk for 2 hours with nobody listening to us, you are wrong. But the show's always better when people are here to be a part of it with us, so we're not just screaming into the void. Landon, got anything you want to say to the nice folks?
I have nothing more to say than just thanks for coming out. Just like you do every week, and keeping us company and just being awesome in the chat.
Yeah, Landon, great job as your first episode of co-hosting. Your face is good. You did good face things the whole time. Randy, you want to say bye to the nice folks?
Bye, nice folks.
So that's everything Randy has to say. Anyway, great show. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You've been great. And we've been Cutting Edge Hero.
See you.
Bye.